Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video what we're going to do is my first review. So we're going to start really budget and start with a pound shop makeup review. So I went to my local pound shop and looked at their beauty display. They do have quite a lot. So in today's video we're going to test out all the different products and have a full face of pound shop makeup. So first off, we're going to try the foundation. So in store it was very hard to try and match your colour as they didn't really have a lot of colours. So I did go with the lightest one, which is in the shade Warm Porcelain. So I'm hoping this will match me. So first of all, I'm just going to do what I normally do and open it up. It is very tubey. It does feel cheap, but it is only £1, so I didn't really expect it to be really good, but we can see what it looks like on the skin. So I'm just going to squirt a little bit out on a beauty blender. It is quite thick and looks like a mousse, which I wasn't expecting, but it does look quite thick. So I'm just going to bludge a bit around and hope this does match me, because this was the lightest shade that they had to offer in store, and see how it applies. I haven't changed anything with my beauty blender or anything. My brushes are going to be my own because I just wanted to test the makeup. It does seem a little orange and patchy, as we are already noticing, but we can have a look at the finished product. It isn't got any coverage, as you can see. I do have a few blemishes at the moment through distress, but it hasn't covered them one bit, so we might have to build on that if we can. As you can see, it is quite orange compared to my actual skin, and this was the lightest shade. So the matches, if you are paler than I am, this wouldn't work. So looking up close, I'm not really liking it. It hasn't really done much to my skin. When it first came out, it did look really thick, so I did think in hope that it would do something. But it seems to have just laid on top of my skin, not actually done anything, and is very, very patchy. So what I'm going to do is just apply a little bit more, just see if I can build it up. And we'll see what happens there. But it does come out very thick, as you can see, but when you put it on the skin, it's not very thick. It's very sheer. It doesn't really do much. It's very patchy. So let's just try a bit more. And I will apologise now, my voice is a bit croaky. It's because I think I'm coming down with a cold from someone at uni's given it me, so I do apologise about that. Okay, I really don't like this foundation. It's very patchy. I will bring you up close. If you can see, it's just not really done much. It's very orange and patchy on the skin. The lighting's not, there we go. If you can see, it grabs to places and is very, very orange, and has left me this horrible mark, which I'm going to have to blend down my neck. Because this was the lightest shade, and I am evidently a lot lighter than what they think porcelain is. But I hate it. It's patchy, it's orange. There's not much really else I can say about it. It won't really blend, so I would not recommend at all. This is a complete fail. You can get better, well, not cheaper, but more affordable foundations that will do really good, probably from Primark. I would not recommend this at all to anybody. But on the other hand, let's try the concealer. Now, concealer I'm a bit wary about because it is a stick concealer. It's one of them really cheap stick concealers that you probably used as when you were a teenager. I'm just going to open this up because I did forget this. They don't really do the best, they normally crease more because they just don't stick, but this does seem a bit more lighter. I did go with the lighter shade again, which it doesn't actually say on the concealers, it just says conceals blemishes. So I'm going to pop this under my eyes. It's very hard, doesn't really, it's got no pigment. I don't know if you can see that, the lighting is bad at the moment. Let's try this side. Oh, there we go, it has picked up, you just have to warm it up a bit. It feels like I'm dragging my skin, as you can see, like I'm pulling just to get some colour out, but it's not the best. It feels cheap on your skin. It does the job. We'll see what it looks like when I've blended it in, see if it covers these blemishes that I do have on the chin and on the nose and on the forehead. Let's have a look how it looks like blended in. For saying it's £1, it's not too bad, but it has just vanished. Let me just pick you up and go closer. It has just vanished. It just kind of just blends into nothing. So you can't really see anything except the foundation that's underneath. It has lightened the foundation up a little bit. So like I said, it's just blended into nothing. Has it covered the spots? Slightly, you cannot see them anymore. Obviously, you can see the ones that were quite red. So I don't think it's the best, but it does work. So it's not the worst. It's a lot better than the actual foundation that I've tried, but I wouldn't go out and repurchase it again. So after that, we do actually have a cream product. So Pound Shop actually do sell a cream highlighter. It's in the same shade Bloom, but let's have a look what this looks like. If it's very Vaseline, it's going to take off the foundation, which isn't a problem because it's already patchy anyway. It is like a Vaseline. It's very oily. You can't actually see it. It's not very pigmented, so I'm going to try and do a swatch for you, but it does blend into nothing. So you can't actually see it. So I'll try it with my beauty blender and see if we can actually get anything out. No, it's not doing absolutely anything. It's just kind of an oil. It doesn't really have any pigment. That's a complete fail. It looked like a nice colour. It looks like a kind of nice cream highlighter, but it's literally just Vaseline. There's no pigment, nothing. So we're going to move on from that, and we're going to powder the face, which I hope actually does work, because at the moment everything has been a fail. So let's try the pressed powder. They didn't do a loose powder, which is what I normally go for, but they did a pressed one. So this is in translucent. It does seem creamy, it does seem like it would do it. So let's have a quick look. I'm just going to grab my Morphe brush and dip into it. There is a lot of kickback, so just be careful if you are doing it. And I'm just going to set the under eyes. So this powder does seem like it works. It is quite nice actually, it's quite finely milled, which I do like in a powder. It has set my face down pretty well. It's not really cakey. It has set the foundation and the concealer pretty well. So I do actually kind of like this powder. It works, it's £1, and I would say if you need something that's quick and easy, it is travel friendly, then I would recommend it. So the only other thing that after that was bronzer, and they only actually had 2 colours. So they had this one, which was slightly more my colour and a very, very dark one, so they didn't have much shade range in the bronzers, but it seems like it will work. It looks a little bit orange for me, but we can try it. So I'm just going to take my fan brush from Morphe as well and dip into it. I'm just going to try it on the forehead first. Okay, so it is pigmented. As you can see, it came up pretty much straight away, which is pretty good. Is it a right match? It isn't massively pigmented, so I do think you'll have to dig your brush in. But it seems nice. It seems like it works. Seems like a pretty actually good match to my skin. So it did look a bit orange in the pan, but when you get it out, it doesn't actually look that bad. So this is what it looks like. It isn't actually massively bad. It could be a slightly bit more cool tone for me, but it's not drastically bad. Sorry about the lighting on this side. It keeps going really bad. I don't know how I'm going to... So that's enough bronzer, I think, because it is quite orange, so I don't want to go too drastic with the bronzer and then look like an Oompa Loompa. So I'm quite excited with the blush. The blush does look really pretty. It's in the shade Soft Blush 1, which is the name range. It is nice, a nice pinky sort of peachy colour, which is normally my type for a blush. So I'm hoping this is actually really nice. It is pigmented, so it picks up on the brush really nice. Let's have a look. So that is a really nice brush. It is quite pigmented, as you can see. So you only actually need a very, very tiny bit, but that pink shade is actually really, really nice. So I'm really actually happy with that. I would recommend that. It's a nice little blush in a nice little colour. It does actually really pigmented and makes your skin look very blushed. So I'm happy with that. So after that I did have a highlighter. I do think the highlighter is going to be a bit dark for me because it was actually the only highlighter they provided. So I didn't really have much luck in looking at the highlighters because this was the only one they did, and it is in a pearl, but it does seem quite dark, so it would be really nice for darker skin tones, but I think it's just going to be a bit dark for me. But we'll give it a try and see what it looks like. Actually, it's not too bad. You can see it shimmering off. Let's have a bit on the nose. Okay, it is a bit dark on the nose. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a cast. So I probably wouldn't use this on the nose. It's nice, but it's not really what I want. I will try and give a swatch of it and see. It's just very pink. It's not a lot of shimmer in it. It generally reminds me of a blush, really. I probably would use this as a blush because it has kind of blended in with the blush. So it's nice, but it's not something I would use for a highlighter. I normally prefer like a champagne colour. I'd probably actually use that as a blusher. If I wanted it to be a bit more sheer and sparkly, I probably would use that. So if you've got a deeper skin tone, it might be really nice. It's just not very blinding, and it is quite dark. So if that's the only one they provide for all skin tones, I don't think it's going to work. So after that, I did buy an eyebrow pencil. No, actually, I bought an eyebrow kit, and I did actually think this was an eyeshadow trio, because, quadruple, because they come like that. But they only did one of these, and the colour range isn't the best. So if you've got if you're blonde, or you've got lighter hair than me, because I've got pretty dark hair, I don't think this is going to work, because your eyebrows will be absolutely dark. So if I can get into it, I can show you. So that one might work for blondes, but they are very similar, and then that one's very dark. So I don't know who these now, that's very dark, so I'm probably going to use the medium brown and put that into my eyebrows. I'm just going to grab my Morphe, no, it's an Anastasia eyebrow pencil. I'm just going to fill these out. I'm only going to do one on camera and then I'm going to do the other one off camera, just to save some time. First off, when I've done it, it's not very easy to work with. It's very chalky and it's not very something I would use. Maybe it is the brush, so I might just change the brush up and try this Jeffree Star one, just to see if that's a bit more finer. So I don't actually normally use powders in my eyebrows, I normally just use a pomade, so I find them easier and creamier. This one is very like blocky, I don't really like that. I'm using the tiniest bit. It is pigmented, so it is good, but it's not very good to get like a precise line on the tail. Like, it's very not really my style. But that might be because I don't really use powders. So if you do use powders, it is pigmented, so I wouldn't say it's bad, it's just quite hard to work with. Once you brush it out, it does sort of blend itself in. It's just got a very harsh line here, which you actually can't, you have to scrape it to blend it in. So I'm just going to go off camera and do this eyebrow and I'll be back. Okay, so I've done the other eyebrow. It isn't the best. I don't think I'm going to use that again because it is quite hard to use. So it's actually made them quite messy. I will try and clean them up afterwards with concealer, but if you like powders, it is a good powder. It's just not my kind of thing. If it was a pomade, it probably would be better. I just feel like they are a bit blocky. So anyway, moving on, we're going to do the eyes next. The only ones that I could see are these quite quadruple eyeshadows, but they are all shimmer, which I've already noticed. So I think I'm going to go in with the eyebrow powder and use it as a transition colour, just because I don't want shimmers all over my eyes. I'd prefer to have like a neutral like crease shade. So what I'm going to do is just grab, and I'm going to go in with the lightest shade, so it was meant to be probably one for blondes. I'm just going to dip into that and go into the eyes. As you can see, it's actually not done anything. It's very patchy, but as it is, it's not actually meant to be on the eyes, so I guess we can work with it. Let's have a little bit of a tinge. I'm going to go in with the darker one just to see if I can get a bit more pigment onto the eyes before I put a shimmer on. Okay, they don't blend, but they are meant to, because they are meant to be for eyebrows. So I wouldn't actually recommend using them for eyeshadow because it just looks like a complete patchy mess. As you can see here, it's just all patchy. It's not actually blending anything, so that's probably a fail to use the eyeshadow, use it as an eyeshadow. But we'll work with it and we'll try and blend it out. I think it has just catched and stuck to places and doesn't want to blend anymore. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go into the actual eyeshadow palette. We're going to take one of the, there is a dark brown, but I think it is shimmery, and we're going to try and put that in the outer corner just to see if we can get it a little bit more blended than what we're hoping with at the moment. Let's try that. Okay, that is very, very dark for saying it's a brown. It also looks black. Okay, so it does actually just look like a complete mess. The eyeshadows are absolutely awful. I would not recommend them to anybody. They're horrible. I don't know if it's just the trio that I've picked up, but it's bad. So we're going to try a shimmer anyway. We'll probably put one of these on. I'm going to do it with my finger just to see if it's the best. I'm going to go with this golden colour. See if I can swatch it and see if it's got any pigment before. Okay, it's got absolutely nothing. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Yeah, it's not very pigmented, it's very dull. But we'll try it with this look. Just pop it on the lid. It's nice. It's not the best. I wouldn't use it ever again because I've got a lot better affordable shimmers that actually do better than that. I think this eye look is absolutely awful because nothing is blended with each other. It just looks like a complete mess. I would say I'll go do the other eye, but I'm actually going to take this off afterwards because it's awful. So I'm just going to move on to eyeliner. So I don't actually normally wear eyeliner, but I thought for this video we'll try it out. So we've just got this little pot. Let me have a look what the tip looks like. Okay, so it's a very little tip, as you can see. So we can try that. I don't normally actually do eyeliner, so just bear with me. Okay, first of all, it's very wet, as I've noticed. It's not bad though, it's very black, which is a good thing. It's just in the tiniest little wing. Do you feel like you have to go over it quite a few times though to get it black? But it isn't bad, it's just not the easiest to work with. I'm not the best at eyeliner, so obviously some people might think it's a lot better. But it isn't bad, it's alright for £1 actually. It's quite easy to use. It's black, it is quite wet, so I don't think it would last as long. I think it would transfer to your lids quite easily or smudge down here, because it is quite of a wet formula. But it's not bad for £1. I would say if you're looking for a cheap eyeliner and you're in pound shop, give it a try. It's only £1. It's actually not that bad. The other one I've got to try, and I'm just going to actually try it over the top, is this glitter one. I'm just going to put a bit on my lid just to see, because I was just intrigued how glittery it would be and what sort of form it was. It is got a tiny little wand as well. I'm just going to pop some on my lid, I think, in the inner corner. That is very nice. It actually just blends in with the colour that I've put on my shade already. But it does work. It's not the best, as in quality, but you can see the shimmer forming. I would say it is actually better than the eyeshadow. It's sort of the same formula as the eyeliner, but it is better, and I'd say I would prefer this over my eye than the eyeshadows that we've tried, because they were absolutely awful. It does clump, as you can see, over the eyeliner, so I would take that into consideration. I probably should have put it on before the eyeliner, but it does give a nice little shine to it. I don't know how long it would last because it is clumping massively. I don't know if you can see. So I think it would just eventually flake off and then leave you with nothing underneath. So it's something to consider, but it's not the best. I probably wouldn't use it regular. I'll probably just use it for a tiny, if I was just going out for like an hour or so. But I wouldn't really recommend go and grab it straight away. So I've also got another eyeliner, just one of them pencil ones that you put on your waterline. It does seem quite sharp, but it's not the blackest of eyeliners that I've seen. See if I can get a better swatch. It is black, obviously it does smudge, but we're just going to try it in the waterline and see how it goes on actual skin. I think it is quite sharp, so it's making my waterline actually water, so it's not actually pigment enough to actually go on my line. It's not bad. I don't think it will last because it is quite sharp. I think if you did use it for a while and it starts to get a little bit more creamier, but it's a very sharp formula at the moment when you first open it, so it does actually irritate the bottom eyelash and make my eyes water. So I don't think it would stay. I think it would transfer and just go onto my cheeks and look like a mess. Finally, for the eyes is mascara. So I did pick up one of the mascaras just in black, just to try out. So we're going to see what the one looks like. It is kind of a big wand. It very fastly, but when I've just touched it, it's actually not got a lot of product on it. So I feel like when you pull it out of here, just take all the product off. Let's try it. Okay, I feel like it does nothing, so I'm just going to dip back in and see if I can actually get any more product. I feel like nothing is actually on the brush. I'm not the biggest fan of this. It's actually doing pretty much nothing to my eyelashes. It's just making them very black, as you can see. It's not actually got any length, volume, nothing. It does look slightly better on my lower lashes, so maybe I'd use it on my lower lashes, but it is quite clumpy for saying not a lot of it comes out. I'm not the biggest of fans on it. It's not the worst mascara I've tried, but it's not the, I wouldn't say it's my top 10. It is £1, so I do have to consider that, but I think there is a lot better mascaras for cheaper than this one. If you were going to go out and get one, I think you should probably get another one. But it's not bad. I'd say it's not the worst. It's not really done anything drastic, but it's not the all-time worst thing in the world. So finally what I've got to try out is actually lips. So I've got two different lip products. I've got a matte colour lip one, but then I've also got a buttery makeup lip buttery. So I think this is a crayon, yeah, which has got really nice nude, as you can see here. It's a really, really nice nude, and it is buttery and it is creamy, so I might try this one out first, because this one is quite pinky. But let's give it a swatch. Yeah, it's very pink, but it's very sheer. I wouldn't say it's, once you've obviously rubbed it out, I'm probably going to go with the other one, but I did get a lip liner, so let's try that. I tried to match the lip liner as best as I could because there wasn't a lot of options, but this just seemed quite bright, so we'll see how that goes. So it is quite sharp, But sometimes I do like that because then you can get a precise line. It is quite a nice colour actually as well. I do like the colour. I think it looks better on your lips than when you swatch it. Let's try the lip crayon and see how it performs on. So it is quite creamy, but I feel like it on swatch it was quite more pigmented. I think it's very oily, like it feels like Vaseline, and it actually is just separating in my lip lines. So it just looks like a bit of a mess. And it feels like lip balm. Like a lip balm, not an actual lipstick. So what I might do, I might just put a little bit of that matte one over it just to see if it makes any difference. Because at the moment I just think it's like just clumped up. It's not very nice. So let's just try this on the top. This one does clump as well, as you can see it has clumped, but I do feel like actually it's a bit better, but my lips do feel very slippery, like I feel like it will come off straight away. So I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's amazing. They sort of remind me of the NYX, is it Suede lipsticks, but obviously I prefer them. But this is the finished look. Honestly, I'm not the happiest with anything. I think the only good thing that came out of Pound Shop's makeup was the powder. I do think that's alright. I think that worked really well. I do like the blush as well. Blush is really good. It's really pigmented. It does blend out. Other than that, the bronzer was okay. I probably would use that again. But everything else, like the concealer, the foundation, the highlighter, the eyebrows, all the eyes, I think is awful. The only thing I probably would recommend is the eyeliner because it does work. Everything else is awful. I think my skin does at the moment looks like a complete mess. And I can't wait to take it off. But if you do enjoy these review videos, please subscribe and ring the bell. It would mean the world to me if we could get up to 100 subscribers by the end of the month. I do upload weekly, so please keep an eye out when I do upload. It is normally a Sunday night, but next week we are probably expecting one on Friday, as it is Valentine's Day. But if you could like this video, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!